I should tell everyone right now that we are stretching our two-way radio signals by having the news units that far north. We're going to try to bring them in. First, let's go out to our KFDI mobile units.
This is John Wright in Mobile 22. We're in Hesston, Kansas, where most of the activity is now moved from the Haven, Kansas area, and we believe that there is a wall cloud that is forming northwest of my location on I-135, passing through the area of Hesston, Kansas, but my line of sight is obscured by some treetops and several hills. We cannot tell if there are any tornadoes dropping from this wall cloud. We'll try to get more information for you as quickly as possible. Let's go to Mike Dennis, who I understand has some storm damage in Mobile 27. Mike?
John, the sun's shining over Haven now along K96. Most of the clouds and the strong winds clearing out of this area. The only damage was some minor damage. Some trees out north of Haven along a country road we went down were blown over, and a few shingles off a home. The tornado and the thick black clouds moved fast to the north-northeast, more to your location. We'll check now with Ken Vanderup in Mobile 24.
I'm to the west of the Burton area, and I've come up on a farmhouse that is very heavily damaged. The trees completely around it, some very mature trees, have just been twisted and broken like toothpicks. As some barn roofs, a couple of barns have been completely destroyed, and there's a farmhouse that's received some heavy damage. We've had some other people here. I do not know if there are any injuries here yet or not, but there's quite a bit of damage. There's power line damage. This is 1 mile west of the Burton Road and several miles north of Mount Hope. We're going to be getting out here to see exactly how bad this is. Off to the northeast, it appears that John Wright, I may have a view of that cloud you were looking at. It is kind of a cone shape hanging out from the bottom of the storm. It's difficult to see because I'm looking in towards the rain base itself. So it's kind of a cone shape that's a little bit darker than the rest of the rain on either side of it. And it appears to be stretching from the cloud base all the way to the ground. It's very difficult at this time to tell if it is exactly a tornado or just a funnel cloud or just some clouds that could create a tornado. But we'll be getting out of the truck here and finding out exactly what's the situation with this particular farmhouse and what happened. And I'll be getting back to you momentarily. Mobile 24, I'm Ken Van. This is John Wright in Mobile 22, and we are just north of Hesston. I am receiving some pea-sized hail on my mobile unit. We are traveling northbound, and from what my vantage point is, I'm going to call this a tornado on the ground. I am receiving pea-sized hail. We're on I-135. Mountain Ridge is about 2 miles up ahead on 280, and this apparently is going to be a tornado just southwest of my location. Now, the further north I move, I'm going to have to turn on my windshield so I can see what's going on. We are getting heavy amounts of pea-sized hail, some a little bit larger. It is starting to litter the highway here with just like snowfall. The wind is also picking up just a bit. This is going to be just north and west of the city of Hesston. I cannot get a further location on the exact area of this tornado that is on the ground. This is north and west of my location, and we're seeing some cars pull over out of this hailstorm, but we're going to try to get a better location for you and keep on going toward the north as long as this signal is going to hold up. We are again on I-135 and near Mountain Ridge, about a mile from Mountain Ridge right now, and that is a very large tornado that is on the ground. We have no idea how big it is moving. You are not going to be able to see anything if you're over at this location because most of the people are in the rain shower, and this tornado is on the ground southwest of my location here, about a mile toward the south of Mountain Ridge on I-135, and we are going to get out of this rain so that we can see exactly what is going on. We'll have more details for you as quickly as possible. Mobile 22 in Harvey County, this is John Wright.
Dan Dillon in the KFDI Weather Center. We'll get back to John in just a few moments. The temperature here in Wichita, 70 degrees under a cloudy sky. Let's give you an update on the warnings that we have for you. The warning is still in effect for Western Harvey. This is a tornado warning in effect until 5:30 for Western Harvey. We also have a tornado warning in effect until 5:30 for people in McPherson County. Now a special weather statement out of Concordia A tornado warning continues in effect for McPherson County. At 5:20, a tornado was just south of the McPherson County line, 17 miles south of McPherson and moving east-northeasterly. And I think this is the funnel that John Wright has spotted. People in or near Mond Ridge and extreme south McPherson County should get to some shelter right now. Get to a basement if possible, if not a small room on the lowest floor of your home. Let's go to Bill Roy. Bill has some information for us. Bill?
Dan, I just got done talking with Dick Heitschmidt. He's in charge of Reno County Hutchinson Emergency Preparedness, and he says the reports of damages are starting to come in.
The reports are just now starting to come in. So far, I believe we have 3 residences that were damaged that we know of, and lots and lots of trees and power lines down, and we have 2 roads that we've closed until we can get the power people there to take care of the trees and power lines.
Now, as far as the power lines, is there any damage from those being, or any danger to people who might be in the area?
Yeah, certainly that's why we've closed those roads where we know that the power lines are across them. We have those closed to keep people off them, so it's always the possibility of electrical shock.
Now, have you had any reports of injuries?
No reports of injuries whatsoever at this point.
And at this point, any idea on where the funnel might be? We had heard that perhaps it's near 50 Highway.
The last we heard and continued to track it, had got into the Burton area and was still going northeast, and we now are diverting our attention to taking care of the damage in Reno County.
Once again, that's Dick Heitschmidt. He's in charge of Reno County's emergency preparedness. Dan?
Thank you, Bill. Let's go back out to the streets again, and let's go to John Wright in Mobile 22. John?
Well, Dan, as you can hear, we are getting some very heavy hits of hail on my mobile unit. And we just passed under the bridge to give us a little bit of a break at this location here. We are about a mile south of Mound Ridge on I-135. And I want to tell you, it's like driving on a gravel road. The hail is hitting. We do have a funnel, the tornado. I can see it through the treetops. It is just north and west of my location. The funnel just lifted again back up into the air. It's now a funnel. It was on the ground briefly that we can see, but now it is a funnel. But apparently this storm still has a lot of life left to it. And as you can tell, I'm getting hammered here. But so far so good. Most of the motorists have taken shelter underneath the overpass. Now this is a wall cloud that we can get through the stretch of trees. We see 1, 2, 3 separate funnels swirling around to make one huge funnel cloud. It is aloft right now, just I'd say about 5 miles just to the west of my location on I-135, a couple of miles south of Mound Ridge. And this is a monster tornado. We're getting heavy hits of lightning further toward the north. And now my vision is obscured from this large funnel. We'll try to get a better vantage point and get back to you. Let's go back down to Haven. Oh, I'm going to take it back here. This tornado is huge. It is on the ground, moving slowly, would lift back up, and then come back down. If you're in this area, you should be taking shelter. You are not advised to stay inside your cars. We are going to watch this tornado. It is moving slowly from my location, slowly north to south, spinning in all type of directions. This is a full-scale tornado. I cannot hear any roar, but just watching it is swirling and picking up dirt and sand and whatever else might be in its wake. We are going to move a little bit because the hailstones are getting just a little bit bigger for my liking, and we're going to get our way right now. This funnel is moving northeast, still getting a lot of lightning coming down from this location. I cannot tell you if there are any houses. Well, I do see a farmhouse that is now about, I'd say, 5 miles maybe toward the north of the funnel. So if you're in this location, there's another large clap of lightning. If you're in this location, you should move to a place of shelter immediately. And this funnel cloud is moving very quickly. We are going to continue to move. There are several people stretched along the highway watching the storm, and you are advised to get to a place of shelter immediately. You should get out of your car. That's one of the worst places you could be in to take shelter right now. This funnel cloud is very large, very huge. just north of Hesston and south of Mount Ridge on I-135. And we'll be letting loose of the air, try to get a better picture for you. But I want to tell you, this is the largest tornado I've ever seen here in Kansas. Let's go to Ken Vandruff in Mobile 24. Ken, are you out there?
Dan Dillon in the KFDI Weather Center. We have, we'll be going to Mike Dennis right about now.
Some of the damage that was done when this tornado started around this area, just some minor tree damage, a lot of trees laying around in open fields, and some farm buildings receiving some damage, just shingles blown off the roof. We'll try again to join Ken Vandruff in Mobile 24.
And I think Mike Ken is out talking to people at that farm he was at. Let's go back to John Wright. John, what have you got?
This large, intense tornado that's blackened out the sky here is a little bit closer to Hesston, and all the folks in Hesston should take cover right now if you have not already. It is moving to the north and east. It is north and west of Hesston right now. There are lots of buildings in its wake. If you are listening right now, you are to take shelter immediately. This is a very large tornado, and it is moving. It is very wide. There are businesses that we can see, other vehicles that are still moving, and we are now out of the hailstorm, as you can tell. This is a very large tornado, and it seems to be online. I don't want to alarm anyone, but this is near the Hesston Corporation. Apparently, the Hesston Corporation is right in the path of this storm, and the lightning still continues to crack around me here. So if you're in the area of Hesston, Kansas, especially if you live on the north and west side of this city, you are to take precaution, take cover right now. This is not a drill. You are to take cover right now. Hesston, northwest Hesston, Kansas, is right in the line of this large, very large tornado that is on the ground.
And we'll go back to John Wright in just a few moments. The National Weather Service has now issued a tornado warning in effect until 5:45 for people in western Harvey. At 5:25, the large tornado that John Wright has described was in western Harvey County, 3 miles northeast of Burton. The warning extends the present warning for a few minutes longer until the tornado moves into southern McPherson County. The National Weather Service has issued the tornado warning now for southeast McPherson County until 6:15. This is an extension of the tornado warning until 6:15. At 5:23, a tornado was on the ground 5 miles south of Mound Ridge, moving northeasterly at 30 miles an hour. This tornado will move to Mound Ridge by about 5:45 and across southeastern McPherson County by 6:15. The tornado is approximately 40 miles south of Salina. People in the warned area should find shelter immediately. Basements offer the best protection. Small rooms near the center of homes and buildings on the lowest floor are also fairly safe. Mobile homes and vehicles offer no shelter, so leave them. Even a ditch or low place is safer than a mobile home or a car. Once again, this tornado is on the ground and causing damage. All people near this dangerous storm should take cover immediately. Find shelter below ground level if at all possible. Once again, a tornado warning in effect until 5:45 for people in western Harvey County, and a tornado warning in effect until 6:15 for people in southeastern McPherson County. We'll be going back to John Wright, Mike Dennis, and Ken Vandruff in 2 minutes. We're going to take a 2-minute break in the KFDI Weather Center. This is Dan Dillon.
It's not a test. We repeat, this is a tornado warning from the KFDI Weather Center.
The National Severe Storms Forecast Center has issued a tornado warning in effect until 6:15 for people in southeastern McPherson County, also until 5:45 for people in western Harvey County. John Wright has been broadcasting for quite some time, and he doesn't know that he was taken off the air in about the last 2 to 3 minutes because we wanted to get that information on. We have gone to other reporters. Let's go back to John Wright and check his location. John, tell us where you're at and what do you see?
Just to the south and east of the Hesston College in Hesston, the tornado is on the ground doing heavy damage. Just to the north and west of town, the tornado has sucked up houses, businesses, and is on line now to take out the water tower here. Now, the Hesston Corporation apparently is in line of this large monster tornado that is doing a lot of damage here in Hesston. And there are a lot of people still moving about, but if you're listening, you get to a place of safety right now. This is a very large tornado and moving very quickly at the present time. We have not noticed any emergency vehicles in this particular area. We've not been able to pick up any scanner traffic as to what damage might have already taken place. Another reference point, there's a softball diamond here in Hesston, south and west of town. So if you know where that is, the tornado is about 2 miles, maybe 2.5 miles from you. And this tornado is moving on a path from northwest, moving apparently northeast, so I should say southeast. And it is moving at a pretty good clip, and I'm going to have to get out of the way, but we'll continue broadcasting here just for a little bit. This tornado is getting larger and larger, and I'm going to have to make a beeline southbound on 135 to get out of the way. We can see debris that is being sucked into the cloud and being tossed about, and this tornado is very huge. It's gotten bigger than what I first thought it was when it was several miles away, and now I'm finding myself in the path of this storm and having to move very quickly. Mobile 22, this is John Wright.
Dan Dillon again.
22, the ball field I told you about now is history. The water towers, though, remain standing, and this funnel cloud is huge. I can hear the roar from my location just maybe about a mile and a half away from the funnel cloud. We cannot see any other funnel clouds forming, but this one is big enough. And you've heard of a roar, the sound of a freight train. Well, let me tell you, that's exactly what's going on right now. There's debris. We can see pieces of wood, pieces of metal being encompassed and being engulfed and sucked into this huge, huge tornado. It is getting larger and it is getting louder, and I am getting ready to move from my location. This tornado is doing a lot of damage to the Hesston College from northwest. Movement, which is now just took out the ball field. The lights are gone. Other items, debris in the air, flying all about. And the tornado is now apparently moving toward the north and east right now. There are some businesses at that location, a Pizza Hut. If you're at that Pizza Hut, you are to get to a place of safety right now. It is going to move across a service station in just a matter of moments. And this tornado is twisting, turning, and we have now another funnel cloud that has formed. We have two tornadoes on the ground here now. One over by the Hesston College that is getting closer. The other just about a mile and a half away from the parent cloud. So we now have two tornadoes that are on the ground, not just one. So folks over in the north and east part of Harvey County now should take shelter. It is about ready to go over the I-135 interstate right where I was parked a few moments ago. It is very quickly moving, and it's across the highway now. And if anyone was up there, Lord only knows where they are now. There's debris that's just flying about the air, and now the two tornadoes are engulfed in one huge cloud. I can't see both tornadoes. I can see just one huge cloud. I cannot see both tornadoes, and there's just debris scattered for miles. There's chunks of wood, metal, and apparently these two tornadoes now are doing damage to the area of a rest area just north and now west of Hesston. This is quite a sight here. People over in the eastern part of Harvey County now, eastern part of Hesston, should take precaution to get to where you need to be right now. This is not a drill. This is not a test. This is now two tornadoes that have formed, not just one. So that's the situation right now. And see what damage has been done to Hesston. We can just barely make the outline of one tornado, and I don't know if this forms to two. Well, we do have a lot of damage at Hesston College, from what I can see, and now we have one tornado that is still moving, still on the ground. Now, that's not to say the other tornado is not has not lifted up, but we can tell you that there's two tornadoes, so there's going to be heavy damage in Hesston, but still we have a tornado on the ground and still apparently sucking up more energy from the system that's associated with this thunderstorm, and it is still moving. We'll be trying to get more details with some weather spotters that were here on the scene watching it along with me. Let's check now with Ken Vandriff. He's out there at Mobile 24. Ken?
Right now, I am about 3 miles south of Burden, and we've had reports of damage in the Burden area.
some farmsteads that were destroyed by tornado as it touched down and hop-skipping across southwestern Harvey County. One man, 83-year-old John Davenpeck, was trapped in the basement of his home for a while, was able to get himself out, but when he finally climbed out of the basement, he saw that his house had been destroyed, all of the outbuildings and even the cattle pen around his house had been destroyed, and all of the big, mature, strong trees were snapped off like they were toothpicks by a tornado as it ripped through his particular farm. Power lines are down on several locations to the south of Burton, and we've had reports of other businesses that have been damaged, but it appears as though Hesston is getting the worst of this from the description from KFDI's John Wright. Let's check with Mike Dennis.
We'll try to check now again with John Wright in Mobile 22.
This is Dan Dillon in the KFDI Weather Center. We'll go back to John in just a couple of moments. Tornado watch is also in effect for much of central and eastern Kansas until 10 tonight, so this stuff could continue for a while. The National Weather Service office in Topeka has picked up on radar the large destructive tornado that you've heard described by John Wright. It's been on the ground in central Kansas since 4:50. The projected path of this tornado would place it in Morris County by about 6:30. With sunset around 6:30, spotters should be taking their place in southwest Morris County at this time. The storm will be more difficult to follow after dark, and spotters should be in place by then. A weather statement now out of Wichita. A large tornado that touched down at 4:30, still on the ground at 5:30 in Harvey County. The tornado located a mile south and 2 miles west of Hesston and moving to the northeast at about 40 miles an hour. Severe damage reported in Burton and Hesston. Harvey County remains under a warning until 5:45, 1 more minute. Otherwise, other cells associated with severe weather are in north central Oklahoma and are moving into the south central Kansas region. Now let's take a look at those. We've just had a new sweep of the radar. We have some very heavy weather that is directly north of Medford, Oklahoma. On your KFDI weather alert map, this is at K11. It is just south of the Kansas-Oklahoma border, but it is starting to move across into Sumner County. So be careful, you folks down there. We're going to watch this. We do have some heavy weather moving in at that portion, but the main focus of attention is up in the Hesston, Kansas area. Let's go back to KFDI's John Wright.
Dan, we're back at Hesston. As we mentioned, there is debris scattered about the highway here. The gas station that I told you about, that was right in the path of this particular storm, has been taken out. Law enforcement authorities, Kansas Highway Patrol officials are at the scene here trying to keep onlookers out of the area. There's debris scattered about. I'm passing what was the roof of the Pizza Hut at this location. We're seeing this town has been devastated. It's like a bomb hit it. Just rolled across the city from the northwest. It did take out the gas station. Then people were. I don't want to say anyone was inside. We did see a lot of people moving out and about their cars. There's just nothing left of this gas station. It is totally gone. Just like it exploded. There are several houses damaged that's completely gone. There are houses with the roofs gone from the top. There's a light pole where it used to be on Lincoln Street. It's now gone. The sound you're hearing is emergency vehicles now from Hesston moving up to this gas station. And we're going to pull over to the side of the road and let them go past. But we do want to tell you from our last vantage point, that tornado was still on the ground, still doing damage north and east of this city. That has just been leveled here from the tornado. There are people pointing at what used to be their homes, their cars, tractors. The semi here exploded into matches, sound like toothpicks. And we'll be trying to get out and get some more details of exactly what took place here, maybe from some eyewitnesses. Quite a devastating sight here in Hesston. Let's go now to Ken Vanderfin, Mobile 24. I'm right now about a mile south of Burton, looking at yet another farm that has been demolished by what appears to be a tornado. There is an ambulance here helping some people, checking up to see if they are injured. I have not yet had a chance to go to see if there are actually anyone injured in this home, but the devastation is very much like what John Wright was talking about. Trees twisted and snapped, bent like twigs and broken over, power lines down, blocking this roadway, a blacktop road about a mile or so to the south of Burton, and about a half mile to the east of the city of Burton. At this point, it appears that there's a possibility of some injuries. There are an EMS van here checking on it. Like I say, it's just amazing what was here a few minutes ago is now gone.